like I was saying, is more for an aggressive tactic, and it's almost seen more as a last resort shot. You do not get overheads very often. You do in doubles, but not in singles at all. For swinging volleys, this is mostly a transition shot. You're trying to get yourself from the baseline to the net. For a slice/chip shot, these are for a change of pace and play. They can either be directed more towards the baseline, or a lot of people use them directed to bring the player and force them into the net. And then lastly, there's an approach shot, which is also a transition shot. This is where, so this is different from a swinging volley. The swinging volley you take out of the air and you do not let bounce. Approach shot you do let bounce, and you use this as a way to bring yourself into the net, and you either do that or use it as a winner. Some different additives to strokes are the types of spin. So like I mentioned before, there's main 4 types of spin that you can use with either your serve or even the different types of spin, such as flat, slice, and top spin, are all used in strokes as well. There's 4 different grip types, meaning there's 4 different ways you can hold your racket. Everyone who plays tennis or gets to a certain level uses a continental grip, which is kind of a weird grip when you first get used to it, for both volleys and serves. And that's about volley, serves, and overheads. And actually during the middle of a point, you'll literally have to transition from a continental grip to a completely different grip, depending on what shot you get. So you could be hitting a shot at the baseline and using a semi-western grip, going, oh, okay, I want to transition to the net now, and then you have to transition your grip as well into a continental grip.
Could you demonstrate using the?
Yeah, that's why I actually brought my racket.
It's like a fist, right?
So, no, so with a continental grip, you're gonna do this. If you see here, there's this main ridge right here. There's all these different edges to the racket. For a continental grip, you're going to have this knuckle, your pointer knuckle right here on this ridge mainly. There's this little indent right here. I can show you guys a little more after as well. Then there's semi-western, which is what I hit with and a lot of people hit with. The different types of grips can change your swing and the type of shot or spin you put on a ball. A continental grip will provide, it's a little more transitional. So a continental grip, you can do anywhere from spin to flat to slice. You only use continental for, like I said, serves, volleys, overheads, and slice shots. And then semi-western is right here, and that's where this one is mainly on this edge or ridge right here. And then there's a western grip, which is all the way over here. It looks a little weird, but it takes players like this, and then you get underneath the ball a lot easier, and then you have a lot more spin on the ball. And then there's Eastern, which to be honest, I have never used, so I don't really know how it's used. But I do know it's mainly used for people who hit flat shots. If you want to see the racket, you can sit around too. So, like I said, it can have multiple effects on a player's style of play. So because of their type of grip, they can either provide more of a flat type of shot or a spin shot. As I mentioned before, a big concept of tennis and any sport, I guess, in general, is footwork. It's a major component of the game. If you don't have good footwork, you're not going to get yourself set up for a shot, and you're most likely will lose the point. And then your shot selection is key as well. A little thing, it's often said tennis is more mental than physical. This is a personal opinion of mine, and pretty much from everyone that I've done tournaments with over the year, they would agree with this statement. It's very physical, it's physically demanding in different areas, but tennis players have more of a mental struggle with themselves and against their opponent than they do anything else. Along the line with point construction, we've kind of been building up to this a bit. That's why we talked about the different types of spins, shot selection, things like that. The main thing with points, get your serve in. If you don't get your serve in, you're not going to get the point started. So if you especially get your first serve in, you'll get your point started. You'll you'll have a better chance of forcing a shot out of your opponent. Be prepared for the shots to always go in. A lot of tennis players forget this. You see a ball, you think it's going to go out, honestly. There's so many times that you do not calculate the type of spin that the other player hit on the ball, so they don't get prepared and get their footwork ready for the ball to go in. Footwork, footwork, and footwork. I keep mentioning this and pointing it out because it is a large aspect of tennis. Shot selection, the area of the court, the different depths, angles, etc. The different court areas, and then most points, like I mentioned, are won on unforced errors. An unforced error is when you or your opponent makes an error that you should not have made. Meaning, say my opponent hit the ball directly towards me and I missed the shot, that's an unforced error. As opposed to if my opponent hits the ball completely away from me and forces me to hit it out, that's a forced error. And then like I said, there's definitely many different mental aspects to tennis. A little bit more about forced versus unforced errors. 7 main reasons for forced errors are consistency. Players do not have a high consistency to their shot. A little bit later on, I'll be showing some more statistics on unforced versus forced errors. If you're not consistent, you're not going to win points. If you don't get the ball in the court, you're going to lose. Direction and placement of the shot is the main aspect of how you control a point. And this greatly contributes to forced errors. The depth and the height of the ball has a big aspect. If someone is able to hit a shot that's so deep in the court, it forces me back and on the back of my foot, then they're most likely going to be able to hit a short shot next and run me into the net, and I might not even be able to get there, or even if I do get there, I'll lift the ball up enough that they can hit a winner on the next shot. Different spins on the ball have a great effect. If you have power behind your shot, power is kind of a new aspect in the game of tennis. Before, it was always seen as you want spin, spin, and more spin. But now tennis has become progressively more of a power game. As you can see from Serena, people often call her a big, almost like beast of sorts because she's so muscular and powerful. But that is why she's been on top for so long. Positioning of both you and your opponent on the court is a big factor of how you play, and timing of how you control the point. So what I was saying for forced and unforced errors, and I bring up this image once again because if you have different shot selections on the court, so some main big points that you want to focus on are depth, and different shots that you want to hit are on the different parts of the courts. Like right here, you want to hit deeper, and here as well. And then if you hit a deep shot, you can open up different angles and you can hit shorter shots within here, bring your opponent back into the net, and like I said, then hit the shot, possibly cross court, and go there again. So this is a little bit of a video that I have more on point construction. It's of Roger Federer, and we're going to watch it for a little bit. We won't watch it for too long because I know you guys probably get bored by it, even though I'll be interested.
Which one is he?
So Roger Federer is the one in the yellow. I'm going to pause it for 1 second. So I really want you guys to focus on his different shot selection and the footwork behind his shots.
Which one is he?
He's the one in the red.
Red.
Yeah, they're from him at all different ages. So.
Barely see the ball.
Yeah, it was quite a game.
There we go. You should be able to see it a little bit better here. He's.
Oh.
Oh, you made it.
One thing that you guys can notice about him, he's very good at moving his opponent around the court, and this is a big aspect of why he's able to control a lot of different points.
What? What's that?
Why do they keep hitting 3 each other. I don't know.
Is there an advantage or a disadvantage to hitting it with your left hand or your right hand? Like, is it better to go up against a left-handed person if you're right-handed, or a right-handed person if you're left-handed?
So most tennis players are right-handed.
Right-handed? Okay.
So if you are lefty, I personally consider it a huge advantage because you have a whole different type of spin to your game. Spin and shot selection, like they hit the same type of shots, but they just get completely different angles than you're used to. So it's like we have a few lefties on my tennis team, and our lefty is actually our main #1 in singles and doubles player because I'd say a big part of her game is that she has that advantage.
Interesting. Yeah, because in baseball, I know like there's certain advantages to having like a left-handed pitcher against a right-handed batter and vice versa.
It's awful.
Yeah,
For the bowling for that
exactly.
too.
Yeah.
So this is where I'm going to go into a little bit about some different statistics that I found. So this is data from the 2012 US Open. So contrary to popular belief, the baseline is one of the worst positions to be on the court, actually. You want to get closer and closer to the net because by doing this, you take more of the court away from your opponent. It actually has a losing percentage, so for men's tennis, it's at 48%. And for women, it's almost identical. And as I mentioned before, is the approach shot. And the approach shot is used as a transition to the net, which creates a much higher winning percentage. It goes all the way from baseline percentage, which is at 47%, all the way up to 66%. So it's almost a 20% leap right there. And then by serving and volleying, this is where you go directly from serving all the way up to the net and you hit a volley. You add an even 3% increase by doing that because you take more of the court away from your opponent at a quicker pace. Basically, you want to look at it this way, how I have here. Everybody stays back and you're looking to get a bit of more of an advantage. And the more you can look to move forward, the more the percentage will increase, and the farther back you are, the percentages will go down.